Gentlemen, the hopes of an entire town are riding on your shoulders. The expectations couldn't be any higher. We're in the business of winning.
From the producer of 8 Mile.
To win state.
Well, what they have done to this stadium has been nothing short of miraculous. And I think if you ask the three of us and beyond on our crew, this is as neat a place as you can visit across the NFL. And it's always a special moment when their beloved number 4 Brett Favre heads onto the field, a guy who is making his 193rd consecutive start during the regular season, 212th overall. And the Packers hope that the home field advantage starts to pop up again, because over the last year plus, they've kind of lost that. The Giants will start with the football 61 degrees, and the wind is really whipping here in Green Bay. Tom Coughlin seems to have things under control and starting to charm these players and give them pats on the back. Mike Sherman is wondering what he has with this Green Bay team, and Lucy just pulled the ball away from Charlie Brown.
Yeah, you always kind of get chills going up and down your spine just before kickoff. I don't know if whether you're a player or an announcer, and then he comes up, approaches the ball, and just nothing.
You might have a fever.
It could be. Could be. Just takes everything out of it. What a great moment to build up the music.
And then nothing.
Nothing.
But we get to hear more Rolling Stones, which is nice. Mike Cloud is waiting deep for the Giants. And this place, which holds just under 73,000, is packed. Packed.
Hopefully it won't happen again.
He didn't approach it tentatively, and Mike Cloud will get this day going for the Giants. To the 20 and beyond, and knocked down at the 25, and that's where Kurt Warner and company will head to work. There is nobody around the NFL would be in the category of not surprised at the way Kurt Warner has played, and he is stepping into the leadership role, as Troy told us during our open. No interceptions his last 119 attempts. And the key to this Giants team is the offensive line, as Troy said, has played much better than expected. Start the day for the Giants offensively, and he carries it for 3. Inactive last week, bothered by a left calf strain, and he's good enough to not only be active but make the start. Trying to find a hole that's opened up by this group. Sean O'Hara has stepped into that leadership role. The center, who right now is, his helmet is tangled up with one of the Green Bay defensive linemen's helmets. What the heck's going on? Tiki Barber, Jim Finn in the backfield. We'll see a lot of Barber. And Jeremy Shockey. Kurt Warner may try to get him involved in the offense early. How does this happen? The helmets were tangled up. O'Hara. And some unnamed Green Bay defender. 2nd and 7. Warner has to pull it down. He will now run for the first down. And if there's one thing that the Giants will say that they're more surprised about than anything with Kurt Warner, is his ability to move back there at quarterback.
Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't think you would define Kurt Warner as a mobile quarterback, but there is a big difference between being mobile and then having the ability to escape. As you saw, Kurt Warner breaking outside the pocket. He is always looking to throw the football, but he realized nobody was open, was able to pick up a big gain.
And he does have a bit of a knee strain and an ankle sprain, and so you wouldn't expect him to run around too much today. He looked pretty good there.
Right here.
On first down, and end around to Carter. Blocking in front of him, got a good block from Toomer and gets a first down inside Green Bay territory.
Well, Tim Carter, he's the fastest player on this Giants defense. They run the reverse, and you've got to check the backside and see what happens. The end comes down, collapses, as you'll see, and that's why there was the big gap they're on the backside. You've got to get blocking down field with the wide receivers. Amani Toomer there to help out.
Really an unusual look defensively for the Green Bay Packers that time. Only 2 down linemen, even Aaron Campman standing up at the end.
Warner had to pull it back and incomplete, looking for Dane. I guess, guys, the question is, what defense is going to show up for the Green Bay Packers? Is it going to be the one that allowed 38 yards rushing in the opener at Carolina, a 182-yard day on the ground against Chicago, or a nearly 400-yard day through the air with 5 touchdowns at Indy?
Well, you better not let Kurt Warner sit back there too long and try and pick you apart, because I'm not so sure that this front 4 from the Packers will be able to get that pressure, which may force them into some blitzes.
A toss on 2nd down. Tiki Barber. Only a gain of 2, 3rd and long coming up.
I got to tell you, Joe, I was a little surprised that they start the ball game with Ron Dayne in the backfield. Tiki Barber, of course, had the big game last week, rushed for over 100 yards. Ron Dayne has been limited somewhat. You mentioned earlier, did not play last week against the Cleveland Browns, has a calf injury, yet he started. That was the first play that Tiki Barber was in the game. He gets the carry, but in my mind, he's a guy that can create plays, and they've got to keep him on the field as much as possible and get the ball in his hands.
3rd and 8. Trulock is having some sort of problem.
He really is. That is a very unusual thing to see a defensive lineman literally walk across the line of scrimmage, and he dropped, just basically breaking the huddle.
Whatever issue he was having, trying to make sure he went across the line to say, don't snap it, I need help. Well, that's a frightening moment here early in Green Bay, and we'll check on his status when we come back. Whatever the issue is with Trulock, he was able to get off and basically jog off the field. So if you're thinking it was something with the heart or something more serious, they're now looking at the right shoulder area for Trulock, and we'll get a report as soon as we can and tell you what happened.
And you hate to be cold-blooded about it, but the Packers really caught a break that they didn't call a penalty on that play.
3rd down and 8. And there was movement on the right side of the offensive line. That will cost. And now they're going to throw a flag at the end as KGB came in and hit Warner after the play had been blown dead. This ought to be interesting. They threw a flag late at the end of the play.
Prior to the snap, ball start, 66 in the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So with a flag coming in late, that official just picks it up. And now I think Kurt Warner is going to go over to Pete Morelli and is talking to him, saying, hey, what about the flag back here?
Yeah, they disregarded that, and the Giants have had a lot of false start penalties this year. That's an area they've got to shore up. As you see, KGB, the whistle had already been blown. He obviously did not hear it. He did try to hold up there when contact was made. Probably a good call, picking up the flag.
3rd down and 13 now.
Looks like man coverage.
Warner changed it at the line, fires, and it's incomplete. Penalty flag on the play. Amani Toomer, the intended receiver. And there's a flag down right at midfield. It's against the Giants, so a punt is coming.
One of the things that the Packers have been trying to do in this game against Kurt Warner is to make him pull down his first look. That time they got in a man look type situation.
Chop block, number 65 of the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
They get Jason Whittle for a chop block, and the decline of the penalty brings up 4th down and 13.
But they feel like if Kurt Warner doesn't get to look at his first receiver and hit him, they end up not being nearly as effective on offense. That time they ran one of the inside backers directly underneath the slant and took away the first look and just threw off his timing.
Fiegels has been a real weapon for Tom Coughlin so far this season. Trying to hang another one down inside the 20. And this one will take a bounce and get into the end zone. He knocked 4 down inside the 20 last week against Cleveland. This one into the end zone. Green Bay has it now at their own 20. The Lombardi Trophy. Green Bay, Lambeau Field, and fans come through this stadium day in and day out. Go through the atrium, dine here, go through the Packer Hall of Fame. And number 4, whose jersey will hang in there one day. Little play action, rolling out, and it's picked off. And now they say down is Jabril Wilson, but it's intercepted. And it's 3 games, 3 starts.
Nope.
Now another one comes in and says incomplete. The field judge came flying in late and said that Wilson did not make a clean catch. It was nearly his 3rd interception in his 3rd game.
Well, this Jabril Wilson, it's his 2nd start. You see him, he came underneath the route. We don't have a good look.
Oh, yeah.
The ball clearly comes out. Will not be ruled the interception. Good overturned call. But Jabril Wilson is a very aggressive safety. A rookie pick, 5th round pick out of Tennessee.
And the Packers were trying to go at the line of scrimmage quickly, so Tom Coughlin could not challenge that call.
Packers should take their time because it would cost the Giants a timeout.
I think that's one of the things that Tom Coughlin's a little bit concerned about with Jabril Wilson is his aggressiveness. He likes to be physical. He likes to jump some things. As we saw right there, you wonder if Green Bay, as this game moves along, if they're able to take advantage of that. But the ball clearly out.
You know what happened? His knee got twisted underneath him, and I think it freaked him out a little bit as he was going to the ground and literally sort of released the football to try and release some pressure off that knee.
So the Giants did indeed challenge this call. We'll get the ruling when we return. We'll give you another look, and it is clear when you take a peek at this.
The ball did hit the ground. Incomplete pass. 2nd down.
That's Pete Morelli, so that will cost the Giants a timeout as they had challenged that ruling. It was an overrule on the field on the initial call, and they got it right. So 2nd down and 10.
Okay, where you going?
And the handoff is to Amon Green. 2 yards shy of a 1st down. We look at the offense. A huge loss for the Green Bay Packers as they have lost their center, Mike Flanagan, for the rest of the year. Will undergo left knee surgery, and so that means Gray Rugemer will get the start at center. Not as athletic as Flanagan. Amon Green and William Henderson. We'll see a lot of Nick Lucci. Driver, Ferguson, Franks, and Javon Walker, number 84, is coming off a career day last weekend in Indianapolis. 3rd down and 2 and a throw. And the pass complete for a 1st down. Gain of 7 as Donald Driver made the catch.
Well, Green Bay leads the league in converting on 3rd down. It's a short 3rd down conversion there, and when you've got a target that can get down the field and just show his numbers. Brett Favre, a little play action, and they just run up the field, turn around at the 1st down marker and stick it on them. But that's where Green Bay has been outstanding throughout this season. They were good last week and good so far here today.
Early in the year, however, their first couple of games, they would have run it on 3rd and 2. Now they try to run it here with Amon Green, and it is well played. That's Fred Robbins who made the play, a loss of 4.
One of the things that the Giants have done so effectively this season is just move everybody around. It's very difficult to get a feel. Michael Strahan standing up in a linebacker position, then walking to the outside. And Brett Favre was telling us there were times that he was watching the tape that he really had no idea what kind of a defense that they were in. So the Packers are trying to keep their game plan very simple today. They don't want to beat themselves against some of these exotic defenses.
On 2nd down and 14, a toss to Green. Not much there. Great pressure up front by this Giants defense, and it was Strahan who made the stop. No gain on the play, and it's Strahan who set the single season high for sacks. against Brett Favre right here a couple of years ago. It's a nice picture of Michael. The linebackers with Kevin Lewis in the middle. Carlos Emmons still trying to get comfortable physically and in this defense. And the rookie Jabril Wilson, we've already talked about him. He's made a splash filling in for the injured Sean Williams. 3rd and 14. Favre is pressured by Strahan. Buys time, fires. Walker incomplete. And there is no flag laying on the field. Walker got his feet tangled with Wilson, but no flag.
Well, I thought it was a good non-call. I mean, they just got tangled up. There really wasn't a penalty involved, but Michael Strahan putting a little bit of pressure here on Brett Favre. He's got 2 guys trying to block him. He just continues to fight through it. But they went with the dime defense, 6 defensive backs, and that's why Brett Favre had a problem finding somebody open.
High snap. Barker fields it and is happy just to get it away. On a hop, that's Jones, and he lays down at the 20. So the Giants offense back on the field. No score here early in Green Bay. Second possession for the Giants, no score. By the way, the word on Arcal Truluck, a stinger, should return. He's on the sideline, though.
Okay, I'm right in here. I'm right in here. Right in here. Right here.
On first down, a throw by Warner. Nice move. That's Toomer, or rather Ike Hilliard. And as he shakes his way out across the 25, he gains 6.
You know, we came into this ball game talking about Kurt Warner and what he's been able to do over the first part of the season, and I don't know that a lot of people expected that he'd still be the starting quarterback going into the 4th game of the year, but struggled a little bit in the opener against Philadelphia, and then the last 2 games, both against Washington and then the Cleveland Browns, has really done a terrific job, and he really has become the leader of this football team, not just the offense, but has done a great job and is playing well.
On 2nd down and 4, they hand it. That's Dane. And Ron Dane has a first down for the Giants.
But, you know, you think about Kurt Warner and his history, Troy. He's been in the position where nobody believed in him a lot. You know, you go back, he couldn't even find a job in football, arena football, NFL, Europe, all the different things, bagging groceries, all the history that we know about this guy. So the fact that nobody believed in him coming to the New York Giants, I think just made him a little bit more intense and a little bit more hungry to have this thing work out.
But the question was always the health of that right hand. With all of the breaks, the broken thumb, if he could hang on to the ball. He hangs in there well and gets it to Shockey for a first down out at the 45.
Now, you talked a little bit earlier about Kurt Warner's escapability, and you watch him in the pocket, how he's able to slide. He reminds me a little bit as far as his ability to move in the pocket of Dan Marino, one of the hardest guys in the history of the league to sack. And Kurt Warner, he moves around very well within the confines of that pocket to find the open lanes. Of course, Jeremy Shockey moving around as well to get open. And the one fault Kurt Warner does have is at times he'll hang on to it a little long, and that's why he has been sacked 9 times this year.
On first down from the 45, they hand to Barber. Tiki Barber cuts it upfield, has a first down inside the 40. Darren Sharper had to make the stop after a gain of 17.
It's really so difficult to play against a guy like Tiki Barber. He has the speed to get you on the corner, but he also has the cutback ability to make you fear chasing him too quickly. So now as a linebacker, what do you end up doing? Do you over pursue and allow him to cut back, or do you fly out there and try and cut off the sweep? It's really what makes him so dangerous.
And he's one of the reasons why this offensive line has appeared to be playing as well as it has. He does a great job of making them look good.
On first down, they give it to Barber. And Tiki, no gain.
And Troy, one of the questions coming into this game is what would the Packers do defensively? Would they stay with the blitz package that they've used throughout the first 3 games, or would they back off of that because they've been getting burned so badly? And I think the answer, at least thus far, is they're backing off. Very little blitz to speak of whatsoever in this game.
Well, and the problem with their blitz packages over the first 3 ball games is that they very rarely were able to get to the quarterback. Last week against Indianapolis, they would call the blitz, and if you're going to call it, you got to at least get to the quarterback. Someone's got to defeat a block and make a play, and they haven't been able to do that. The linebackers have been basically a non-factor when they've come on blitzes.
On second down, Warner buys time, fires, hits Shockey. And Jeremy Shockey is down inside the 20. Warner buying time, and eventually Shockey is getting open.
Well, and a little pressure on Kurt Warner kept him from seeing Amani Toomer up the left sideline for a touchdown, and Shockey getting banged around a little bit and working the middle of the field, and Kurt does a great job of finding him. But initially, here's the route they wanted to go to. They fake the square in, they run up the field. If you remember, Darren Sharper last week got beat on some double moves as well, and they wanted to test that early, had a shot.
But Troy, look at the protection right there. The Packers are not even getting close in their 4-man rush. You can't allow Kurt Warner to just sit back there. They may force their hand, force them to blitz.
And a penalty flag as that play got underway. Somebody along the defensive front for Green Bay got a great jump.
I think Kenny Peterson was way offsides.
Number 98 in the neutral zone prior to snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So that'll give the Giants 5 more yards. First down and 5. Divisional playoffs coming up on Fox on Tuesday night. It's either the Angels or Twins at the Yankees, or a National League Game 1 matchup. Odds are it'll be at New York. The Angels or the Twins playing there. We can't say definitively yet till the end of today, the final day of the regular season. First down and 5. Warner's in trouble. Warner's goes down. That was Roman coming, and they did blitz, and they did get there, and it's a loss on the play of 14 yards.
Well, that time Mark Roman walked right into it. Bob Slowick's taking a lot of criticism, the defensive coordinator. You're going to see Roman coming up right on the side, a naked bootleg, absolutely no one to pick him up coming off the edge, and he gets there.
But Kurt Warner, Chris, he has got to unload the football there. You cannot take a sack when you're down in there and you're in a position to potentially go in for a touchdown. He's outside the pocket, easy job of being able to get rid of the football, and he fails to do it.
That was a criticism of Warner in his final days in St. Louis. There's Ike Hilliard, and Ike Hilliard is down inside the 15. Mark Roman on the stop and a gain of 10.
Well, now you take a chance. They bring both backers on an inside blitz there, and so the Giants really with a perfect play call of their own. They go to the quick screen, and so there's no inside linebackers to pursue and get out underneath that play.
Well, now the Giants, they're faced with a 3rd and 5, and this is an area where they've not been particularly good in the first 3 games. They've completing only 28% on 3rd down. Chance here to keep a drive alive and potentially come away with a touchdown if they're able to convert this.
Setting up a screen for Barber, and Barber can't get around Whitley, but a penalty flag comes in at the end of the play as Barber had his helmet taken off.
And if that is a face mask against the Green Bay Packers, what a huge break that's going to be for the New York Giants. Stop them here on 3rd down. They've been forced to settle for a field goal.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 25 in the defense. Holding the helmet in the opening. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Really took it off his.
I think that's a bad call.
I do too. What else you want the guy to do? You've got to try to make the tackle.
Well, he didn't grab the face mask either.
Exactly
he came across
right.
the back of the helmet. I tell you, last week the Giants were the beneficiaries of a bad call on pass interference that kept the drive alive, and that's what's happened here also.
It's obviously it's not a reviewable call, but that's a bad call. You've got to allow the guy to tackle just because his helmet popped off. That's not a foul.
Showing it on the replay board here at Lambeau. Brings up 1st and goal. Ron Dayne. Got a couple.
The one thing you cannot do with that helmet is reach up underneath the helmet and pull it off. Let's take a look here and see if he reaches up underneath the back of the helmet. Right there, he does pull it off. So he does. Once your fingers go underneath that helmet, it is a personal foul, just the same as a face mask.
Yeah, Tiki thought so.
Under a minute and a half to go in this first quarter. That's Dayne. More of the same from Ron Dayne as he only got one.
I touched on it a little bit earlier in the game, and you know, Tiki Barber, I know he was the guy who got the ball on 3rd down there and just had his helmet ripped off, but well, I got to tell you, to me, Tiki Barber is a guy that I would not take off the field until his tongue was dragging and he couldn't go any longer. To me, he's just a playmaker, and he's a guy who makes people miss. He's much more powerful than he gets credit for. To me, he's their best inside runner, especially down in here in the goal line.
It's like the Giants are trying to justify a 1st-round pick of Dayne. Barber's their best weapon.
You have 2 wide receivers in the backfield.
One of them in motion, and now Warner with all day fires, and it's intercepted by Sharper. Sharper brings it out across the 15.
Kurt just stared that one down and made it easy for Darren Sharper. He's looking and staring and looking, and if it wasn't picked off by Sharper, it would have been picked off by Nick Barnett.
A cheer from Sherman, and the Packers take over.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Trail-Rated Capability, only in a Jeep 4x4. By Levitra, ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts. By HP, welcome to HP Digital Photography, click, print, invent. And by Universal Pictures Friday Night Lights in theaters Friday.
Kurt Warner on a 3rd and goal. Just threw his first interception as a New York Giant, and I can guarantee you they are asking across New York, how in the world on 1st and goal Tiki Barber is standing on the sideline and Ron Dayne gets the ball twice is incomprehensible. Favre fires, and he hits him on Green, and Green fights his way for a 1st down.
Go back to the interception now. Kurt Warner is just going to stare down his receiver, and against the zone defense, you simply cannot do that. The zone defense is trained to move toward the eyes of the quarterback, and when Kurt never looked anywhere but that one single receiver, it just made it way too easy.
That is the end of the first quarter here in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. Sharper gets the interception for Darren. That's his 2nd of the year. And John Hufnagel, the offensive coordinator, talking to Kurt Warner. It was a 12-play drive that covered 78 yards and almost 8 minutes on the clock. No points. Amon Green on 1st down gets the edge. And the ball comes out.
Unbelievable.
Green has fumbled again, and the Giants get it back. Brent Alexander comes away with a football, and that old fumbling problem pops up for Green.
Well, you see it right there. The ball's in his left hand. He exposes it to the defender who's coming in pursuit. And you cannot stiff arm when you got the ball in the left arm.
Green knocked it out. Thinking about another fumble. He has had to answer questions about fumbles for the last few years. One of the reasons why he was traded away from Seattle. Amon Green, who has been amazing at running back for the Green Bay Packers since they got him in 2000, has fumbled for the 3rd time this year. And the Giants take over. Handed to Tiki Barber, and he gets it to the 40. 2 yards shy of a first down.
You go back and watch Ahman Green carrying the ball in his left hand, and as I said, that then exposes the football to pursuing defensive players. That's not, however, why he is a fumbler. If you take a look at a great running back, in fact, the all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith, he always carried the ball in his left hand as well, regardless of what way he was running. He was not known as a fumbler. To me, in my opinion, you either fumble the ball or you don't. Ahman's one of those guys that fumbles.
2nd down and 2. Warner just flips it and gets a first down on a toss to Tiki Barber.
You know what's amazing about the whole fumbling issue is that Ahman Green had so many issues in the first 9 games this season ago fumbling the football. Then from that point on, he doesn't fumble anymore. Now you come back this season and he starts exactly the way he started last season, by fumbling the football away. They tried to get him to learn how to move it from the left arm to the right arm during the course of preseason, but it just didn't work. It didn't feel comfortable. He kept losing it, so they just abandoned the idea.
On first down for the Giants, Tiki Barber, who is at the top of the list and who hasn't fumbled this season, gets 2. Campman on the stop. See the offensive leaders scrolling by on the top of your screen. Since 2000, when the Packers got Green, he has the most rushing yards in the NFL. But he also has the 3rd most fumbles, and now he just laid it on the ground for the 3rd time this season moments ago.
Well, and he is a terrific football player. I think he's the best runner in football, or at least, you know, one of the best. He does a great job of blocking, a great job of catching the football. He just puts the ball on the ground.
2nd down and 8. Warner slings it to the fullback Finn. And Jim got 6.
Thought it was interesting when we were talking to Coach Tom Coughlin last night, and he said that he really wanted to get Jim Finn in the game more today. He didn't feel like last week against Cleveland that he got utilized enough. Last week they went more of their 2 tight end package, which kept Jim Finn on the sideline, but he thinks he's a great lead blocker, and as we've seen there, he does a good job coming out of the backfield and has good hands.
No points on the board, but the Giants have dominated the first half play so far, especially on the clock. 3rd down, a toss, and Tiki Barber lost yardage. Niall Diggs up from his linebacker spot, loss of 4.
Jeremy Shockey that time flanked out to the left, had a crackback block right here, and he misses it. He comes down inside and slips. Linebacker goes right by and makes the play.
Now Christie will be kicking with the wind. It'll be a 49-yard attempt.
Yeah, and Christie certainly not unaccustomed to kicking in adverse conditions. Of course, kicked in Buffalo for 9 years.
Trying to get it to draw, and it won't draw enough. A 49-yard try is wide to the right. Still no points on the board here at Lambeau. There is no score. Last week the Packers were in Indianapolis. First 5 possessions for both teams, 5 touchdowns. Today 5 possessions, no points. And the Packers just trying to get something going offensively. They hand to Green. Trying to cut it back across the middle, and Carlos Emmons was waiting for him. A gain of 1.
And if you're the Giants right now, I mean, you've got to be disappointed. There you are down in there inside the 5-yard line. You come away with no points when it looked like you may score a touchdown. They then get the fumble recovery from Ahman Green and get an opportunity to get a field goal on that drive, potentially a 10-0 game. And they fail to get any points on either one of those opportunities.
2nd down and 9. That's Henderson, the fullback. What a tackle. Peterson with a great open field tackle to flip William Henderson.
You know, in this defense for the New York Giants, I mean, when you think back to the preseason, this was a defense that really struggled in 3 of their 4 preseason games. The New York Jet preseason game was the only one they played particularly well in. They open up against the Philadelphia Eagles, struggled big in that game, but they have really played well here in the last 2 ball games, and it appears they're settling in very comfortably to Tim Lewis's scheme.
Giants come on a blitz over the middle. It's Walker, his first catch, and he is short of a first down.
Joe, that was a tremendous job by Brett Favre with his snap count that time. He got the Giants to declare their blitz early. He went with the hard count early and then reset the snap count. And you could literally see they tipped their hand on the blitz and they still didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, they still unable to get the first down.
And I think Javon Walker has to do a little better job knowing where that stick is, run the route a little deeper.
Into the wind, the punt hangs up, and a fair catch called for by Mark Jones. So yet again, the Giants defense holds. The offense back to work. No score after a 30-yard punt. There's the day the Giants have been able to hang on to the ball, move the ball.
Right here, right here, right here.
But so far, still no score. And they hand to Barber. Tiki picked up 4. I thought it was interesting, guys, talking to Brett Favre yesterday. Even he didn't know as late as yesterday what kind of an offensive attack the Packers were going to have, and they seem to be kind of in limbo right now, trying to figure it out again.
Yeah, like he said, they come in and they try to see what the defense is going to do against them before they make a decision as to how they're going to attack them. But I'm impressed with what the Giants have done defensively, because really since the Eagles game in week 1, this is the first time that they're playing against a pretty good offensive unit, and they're holding up well.
Yeah, and the Packers defense has bounced back a little bit here as well, at least thus far a shutout.
2nd down and 6. Warner fires, has his man wide open. And the catch is made by Carter for a first down.
Last week Michael Hawthorne, he had to cover Brandon Stokely and Reggie Wayne for the Indianapolis Colts, and today his job's no easier. He's got Tim Carter, the fastest guy on the field for the Giants, and you have to respect that speed, and that's why you see Michael Hawthorne bailing out, not wanting Tim Carter to run by him, and when that's the case, you get the shoulders turned. It makes completing that comeback pretty easy.
Right here, baby, right here.
Nick Rogers is in at linebacker. Hannibal Navies is out. Aggravated his left shoulder. Quick throw to Carter, and his quickness gets him out to midfield, a gain of 6.
Just a perfect call that time by the Giants. The Packers were coming with a corner blitz off the top of your screen with number 27, Michael Hawthorne, and all the Giants do is just raise up and throw it right where he left. Coming off the blitz, nobody there to cover him up.
Yeah, in fact, it was a double corner blitz, Chris. They brought Al Harris off the other side as well. They're trying to manufacture some kind of rush on Kurt Warner and get him flustered.
Long time in the CFL, the Canadian Football League, for John Hufnagel. A long road to get to New York. And they hand for a first down to Tiki Barber. This morning it was Raven star Ray Lewis. Now it's your chance to tell us who you want to see go 10 yards with TB on next week's pregame show. And a choice of coaches. You can log on to foxsports.com on MSN and choose from Joe Gibbs, Mike Martz, Dick Vermeil, and Jim Mora. And then tune in later to see who was selected. I know the St. Louis media right now is logging on and picking Martz. Tiki Barber on the screen. And Barber did all he could to get 3 yards.
Yeah, in fact, Mike Sherman said that the Giants, one of the better teams running the screen. They had a lot of success last week with it, and Green Bay that time is able to sniff it out. Tiki Barber, he does a good job of setting that screen up. A lot of times people talk about you've got to be able to have offensive linemen that can get out and lead block, which you certainly do, but you've got to have a back that has patience, and Tiki Barber supplies that.
On 2nd down, Tiki can't go anywhere. Chris, I know you're looking to do something, but I think it's time to really start talking about Warner. I mean, he was basically ridden out of St. Louis. They made their choice. They went with Bulger. Everybody thought that physically he wouldn't be able to play this position and get anything on his passes. He's finally becoming comfortable with this offense, and he looks terrific.
Yeah, and Kurt Warner right now is a guy that is the leader of this football team. They now have a dynamic leader on the defensive side with Michael Strahan, Kurt Warner on the offensive side, he has almost willed this offense to be better this season than I think what they are talent-wise.
3rd down and 6. Warner buys some time and just runs out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, and there was pressure by Trueluck. No gain, no loss, and that will bring up 4th down.
Well, Arkel Trueluck, he comes back after the stinger and he works over Chris Snee, and that's where the pressure comes from. And had there not have been pressure by Arkel Trueluck, they had a nice opening on a square end down the field for about a 15-yard gain. Good pressure that time by Green Bay, finally able to get to Kurt Warner.
You know, Monty Toomer, if he comes back to the ball just a little bit there, Kurt Warner's going to have somewhere to throw it. He just didn't.
Feagles, Chapman lets it go over his head, and for the 2nd time today, Feagles knocks it into the end zone. Out to the 20 comes the football. No score in Green Bay.
I'm looking for someone who can do just about everything.
That's me.
Can you make color copies? Collate and bind my presentation?
Sure can.
Sign for deliveries?
Can do.
Pick up my dog at the groomer?
No.
Handle all my packing and shipping?
Worldwide.
Well, Kim, when can you start?
How about right now?
The UPS Store, helping your small business in more ways than you thought. Get it done. Get it done right at the UPS Store.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he's always inviting me over to watch his big, fancy TV.
And you hate him for it. So you want something bigger and better for a lot less money.
Yeah.
At Circuit City, we have all the hottest new TVs, from HD TV to plasma, LCD, and more. And with unbeatable prices guaranteed, you'll find the perfect one. Circuit City.
Every Sunday, these bold warriors meet in a quest for glory. Proud gladiators whose game is equal parts preparation and passion. When men become myths.
You are watching Fox Sports. I know you know that, but did you know we're broadcasting in 720p and Dolby 5.1, the world's finest high-definition standard. From the 20, Green Bay has yet to get into Giants territory. They get Wall out to help block, and then sling to Walker, who makes the catch just outside the 25. Gain of 6. Some big plays in this game, and the big plays have been turnovers. The Giants have been able to move the ball, but the interception on a 3rd and goal throw from Warner into the arms of Sharper, and then the fumble by Ahman Green, which again gave the Giants the ball inside Green Bay territory, but they missed a field goal try.
Give the Packers defense credit for being able to keep both of those opportunities from resulting in points scored.
2nd down and 4. Ahman Green. And I know I asked you and put you on the spot when we were on camera, but I think Green Bay came into the season thinking they're going to be a dominating running team, and they went into that Monday night game with that approach, and they crammed it down the throats of the Carolina Panthers. Then they got it crammed down their throats by Chicago. They had to open it up last week in Indianapolis, and now it seems like they're really trying to find the right mix.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're trying to maintain balance is really what they want to do. They've leaned a little more heavily running the football in recent years. I mean, certainly Brett recognizes you've got to make plays in the passing game to score points, and that's why they were able to get what they got last week.
On 3rd down, that ball is fired incomplete. Robert Ferguson, the intended receiver, and the Giants are happy to have Frank Walker back, who came over Ferguson's back and nearly came away with a pick.
Yeah, it really gives them some depth in the secondary. He's out with a foot for the better part of the start of this season, and he was just in a one-on-one type of coverage, breaking underneath this ball and making a great play. I tell you, it's been amazing to watch this Giants defense mature since the first game that we saw them against the Philadelphia Eagles, where they were horrible, and they've been getting better every week.
Punt with the win by Barker, fielded by Jones. And he's out to the 37. Michael Hawthorne on the stop. Only a 6-yard return, and the Giants have the football. You never know who might show up when you throw a party at Lambeau Field. Rick Majerus, George Karl. Shaking hands, making friends, and out to the 40-yard line is Tiki Barber. Picked up with 4.
Sorry, Joe. I think watching New York offensively, when you look at what they've done up to this point, they really have dominated this first half. They've had the ball over 18 minutes already in the first half. They're moving the football. They've just been unable to come away with points. I think that, this drive right here becomes big because you've allowed Green Bay to stay in the game when they've been dominated, and you can't expect that to continue on throughout the second half.
Second down and 6. Warner under pressure, and Warner goes down. Cledius Hunt was the first to get there, but he had plenty of help.
We've seen very little of the Green Bay Packer blitz that we saw in the first 3 games. Finally, they load up there and they come after Kurt Warner, and don't know if maybe they just lulled him to sleep a little bit, but poor Tiki Barber over there trying to block on Cledius Hunt, a 310-pounder, and it's just not going to happen.
Well, if that's the case, then as a quarterback, you know that you're outmanned, and the ball's got to come out.
Green Bay just spent their first time out. 3rd and long for the Giants when we come back. About 73,000 here at Lambeau. Wondering when their offense is going to figure out how to move the ball against the Giants. Giants up basically a 3-to-1 ratio in yards and time on the clock. But now looking at a 3rd down. 3rd and 14, trying to hang on to the ball with 3:28 left. They hand to Barber. Tiki Barber did all he could. He's short of a first down, knocked down at the 44. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and it was a smart call by defensive coordinator Bob Slowick for the Green Bay Packers that time, rather than try to bring pressure and give up a cheap play to allow the Giants to pick up the first down. He went to coverage. The Giants decided to run the draw, and they come up and they make the tackle short of the first down. Good call, Bob Slowick.
And I think the Packers defensively have found what works for them best, and that's being a little more conservative and only spot blitz when you think the situation is right.
Feagles. Chapman waiting for it. Again, it's over his head. This time it checks up. And Feagles has done his job again. They'll mark that ball near the 3 as Mike Cloud was down to down it for the Giants. Well played by Feagles, and let's check in with JB for a game break.
Hey, Joe Buck, the Redskins put together a 12-play, 78-yard drive capped by a Clinton Portis 1-yard TD run with no fumble. Skins on top of Cleveland 10-3. And take a look. The league-leading pair, Donovan McNabb, hooking up with T.O. League-leading 6th touchdown catch. And, yes, he's in good shape as he goes through a sit-up routine. They're on top 13-0 over the Bears. Back to Joe Buck. Good to have something to show you guys.
Oh, is it that kind of a day around the NFL?
Donovan McNabb back home in Chicago, off to a great start.
You know, I thought if you made $50 million, you had somebody else do sit-ups for you.
How many sit-ups can you do?
You want to see it again?
Handoff is to Green. Plows his way ahead for 4 yards.
Don't forget now, the Giants had to burn one of their timeouts because of the challenge that was not successful, so they have 2. And you've got to believe now if they make a stop here, they'll begin to use those timeouts.
Jeff Feagles, the punter who put him down here, actually his 2 previous punts, they were outstanding punts as well. Could have very easily have been downed inside the 20-yard line. And in fact, Jeff Feagles, he leads he has the NFL record, as a matter of fact, for punts inside the 20-yard line.
I saw you spend some time with him down on the field before the game. You're always hanging with a punter. So 2 minutes left at Lambeau. We've been saying this since 1994. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league and the Fox Sports ticker. Keep you updated with up to the second stats. 2nd down and 5. Ahman Green spins his way for a first down.
And that really is such a huge first down for the Green Bay Packers, because now the Giants won't be able to burn those timeouts and try and get the ball back on a punt. Sometimes a first down when you're backed up is as big as anything that happens down in the scoring end of the field.
But I think this is surprising the Packer fans that with a minute and a half left, 2 timeouts, they're playing with the wind. There's no urgency on the part of Green Bay.
Well, they went to 3 wide here, Joe. I wouldn't be surprised if now they open it up a little bit.
And they just try to dump it off to Franks. That's not opening it up.
No, but typically what you'd like to do, I mean, if you don't have Brett Favre as your quarterback and you've got an inexperienced guy, you're right. You're going to run the football. You're going to run the clock out, go in at halftime, be content that you really were outplayed in the first half, but yet it's still a tie ball game. And with Brett Favre, they just wanted to try to get something going. If you get the completion right there, maybe go into a no huddle, see if you can't come away with some points on this drive. Now I'm a little surprised that they're still throwing the football.
Well, now you're on, because now you put yourself right back in the same situation where the Giants' 2 timeouts can get them the ball back.
And they keep it on the ground with Ahman Green.
I totally disagree with the fact that they came out and tried to throw the ball on that first down there, because right now you're going to have the Giants, if they make a stop here, getting the football back with a minute to go.
I'd take my chances with Brett Favre.
I was saying, you're saying the Giants are that good defensively? You're going to pack it in?
Look at the scoreboard.
Give me a break.
Nothing.
Yeah.
3rd and 7.
You know, the other side of that, Chris, is the Green Bay defense has held up pretty well too. I mean, they've been able to shut them down. And
well, let's see what happens on 3rd and 7. The Giants with 1 timeout remaining. They come on a blitz, and the pass incomplete, but a penalty flag comes flying in. Donald Driver, the intended receiver, and this penalty is against New York.
Yeah, it's defensive holding on New York, and so now you've got an automatic first down with over a minute to play, and Green Bay still with 2 timeouts.
Holding 41 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I tell you, I personally, I like what they're doing. I wouldn't necessarily adhere to that philosophy. It was if I had a young quarterback, but we're going to take a look here at what happened on the hold. You see it.
You do?
They got Walker.
Yeah, they got Walker as
That's
he was
a bad
trying to run
call.
a pick.
That's a bad call.
You're just upset because
I am
got the
upset.
first down.
That should have been Giants ball right there. That's a bad call. He didn't hold.
A minute 8 remaining. This crowd wants to see Brett Favre go down the field. They sling it out to Chapman, trying to get some yards, and Chapman is a yard shy of a first down.
And I really think this is when Brett Favre's at his dangerous, is when he's able to go to the no huddle, and the defense then has a hard time substituting players. They're very difficult then also to try to bring pressure in these situations. However, having said that, Green Bay is going to huddle up because the clock stopped.
And now whistles before the snap as they move the ball back to the proper spot. Yard shy of a first down. A minute 4 left in Green Bay with 2 timeouts remaining. Sprinting Favre out right again. The pass complete to Franks. Favre almost drained a minute off the clock completing that ball.
Well, the thing that's most remarkable, Joe, is that there were no linemen down the field. I mean, Brett Favre running around, showing some of his athleticism from years gone by. And the offensive linemen, they stayed at the line of scrimmage. Remarkable. Normally, those guys are very eager when they see a quarterback running around trying to get down the field. But oh, what a great play.
We're going to have to get a new battery for our flying fox camera trying to chase Brett Favre around. You know what's really remarkable about that is he has such a huge bruise on the back of his leg from where he took the shot against the Colts last week. You didn't think he was going to be able to run around much. He said the back of his knee was sore and he didn't feel too comfortable. I think he had to call timeout there just to catch his breath.
Well, Tom Rosley, the offensive coordinator, said one of the reasons we don't give up a lot of sacks is that we move the pocket with Brett Favre. I don't think that's what he had in mind when he was talking about moving the pocket.
That play took 18 seconds. 17 of which was Favre running in circles. Pass is complete to Fisher, his first catch, and that's out to midfield. But now the Packers are left with 1 timeout. And coming up on half a minute to play.
Well, they need to get to at least the 30-yard line if they're going to have a chance at trying to come away with 3 points.
Favre fires, and the pass is intercepted by Peterson. This offense for Green Bay looks lost.
Yeah, I think they're still trying to find their niche a little bit, Joe. You know, Brett talked a little bit about it. He says that you see the interception, really a great job there by Will Peterson. But Brett talked a little bit about it. He said sometimes we get into a mode where we're going to run the ball, and then all of a sudden when we're asked to go out and throw the football immediately, which that was in a no-huddle 2-minute situation, sometimes it's real hard for them to turn it on like they used to be able to. And they did a good job of getting the ball out of there, but not a real good decision on Brett Favre's part.
Well, Will Peterson's played a tremendous game thus far. You cannot play that cover 2 from the cornerback position any better than what he just did.
Gets his first interception of the season. What the Giants have done all year is take the ball away. Warner now will just eat it. The clock will wind down, and that's going to be it for the first half. Warner did that so much in his final days in St. Louis. And here in the final play of the first half, he suffers another sack.
You just can't hang on to the ball like that, Joe. I mean, get rid of it and avoid the hit. I mean, this guy has to be healthy, and there's nothing there, yet he still hangs on to it.
No highlights in this one, at least scoring highlights for the guys in the studio. It's coming up on the Visa Halftime Show. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy get you caught up to date with what's going on around the NFL in this week 4. Nothing here. Back after this from your local Fox station. Almost angelic with that music piece. No score as we get ready to start the third quarter here at Lambeau Field. First half stats. Look at time of possession, just dominated by the Giants. Total yards all the way down. And the Packers have more turnovers than New York. And for the latest in fantasy stats, we ask you to log on to foxsports.com. The day for Warner, the day for Favre after that huge first half and game last week in Indianapolis. Tiki Barber is about halfway to 100. Ahman Green only 40. And not much through the air on either side. Shockey leads with his 2 catches.
And it is a tough day to throw the football. This wind has to be blowing 25, 30 miles an hour.
Chapman from inside the end zone will take a knee. Hello for the first time today, hard to believe, to Pam Oliver. Hi, Pam.
Woohoo! Hey, Joe, good to see you. Hey, I'm talking to the coaches at halftime. First, Tom Coughlin, he was not happy with, of course, the way things went offensively. He says we have got to start getting some continuity, and we can't keep blowing our opportunities to score. On the other side, Mike Sherman, he was lamenting the Packers' time of possession in the first half. 9 minutes and 21 seconds to 20-something for the Giants. He says we need some big plays, and we've got to hold on to the ball. Back to you.
They start with a play action. Thanks, Pam. And to the sideline, the pass is caught for a first down by Donald Driver.
And we should say, don't adjust the color on your set. Yes, Pam Oliver has a little hint of red in that hair now.
Well, you
just a little hint.
You asked her about 10 questions about that yesterday.
Looks good. I like it.
First down for Green Bay. The last scoreless first half, you have to go back to 1980. Nothing, and a toss to Ahman Green running left. Gets it out to the 34. I guess the one name we really haven't talked a lot about is Tim Lewis and what he's done defensively for the New York Giants. We talked to Strahan after week 1, and he was kind of like, well, I don't know. We'll kind of wait and see how this thing unfolds. All of a sudden, you look at the Giants, and defensively, they look very strong.
Yeah, they really do, and the players have bought into what it is that he's trying to do with them within the system, and they seem to be adjusting to it very well and getting comfortable with it, because after that first game, as Jimmy Johnson said there at halftime, this group has done an outstanding job.
He likes to call it a UFC, unidentified front and coverage. Very tough to discern what they're doing.
That's Driver trying to adjust, and they're going to throw a flag. Will Peterson on the coverage. And it looked like he interfered with Donald Driver.
Yeah, it looked to me like it was going to be somewhat of a difficult call because Will Peterson has position on him right there.
Pass interference.
Well, there's the right hand.
The defense. Automatic first down.
You saw the right arm there of Will Peterson because the ball was thrown to the inside. Donald Driver trying to make the adjustment back inside, but Will Peterson held him up.
And Donald Driver probably the best of these receivers at getting off bump and run. So when they see him singled up with that type of coverage, they like to take their shot deep.
More play action, and that's Henderson out of his reach.
Yeah, that's the second time today, Joe, that they've tried to run the boot to Brett Favre's left side, and Jabril Wilson has been there both times that they've done it. And that is very difficult for a quarterback when he makes the fake to the right, rolls back out to the left. It's very hard to get your shoulders then turned and unload the football when you've got a defender right in your face. Brett was able to do it, but a good call by Tim Lewis. And Jabril Wilson, as we've talked about today, you know, he's a young guy, but he doesn't lack confidence, and he's extremely aggressive.
And fast.
About 20 pounds lighter than the guy he replaced, Sean Williams. This is Chapman on an end around, makes one move and brings himself down. Gain of 3, and Kevin Lewis was there to tap him down.
You know, I kind of like that. Tom Rosley, offensive coordinator for the Packers. You're going to see Chapman. He's right here in the slot. And then they come around and make it look like it's going to be a toss to Ahman Green. Instead, Brett Favre tosses it to Chapman.
3rd and 7.
Give Keith Washington a little credit. He didn't make the tackle. I guess he did. He eventually fell down, but he was there and didn't allow that play to develop.
3rd down and 6. For the first time, Green Bay inside Giant territory. Pass caught. Donald Driver. 1st down, Green Bay. Will Allen came on a blitz. Brett Favre picks up the 1st down.
The one thing about the Green Bay Packers offensively, with the number of people that they keep in, it's a difficult team to try and blitz. Even when you're bringing someone off the corner, there's usually someone there to pick it up. That time I believe it was Ahman Green with a nice block to allow Brett the time to make the play.
Packers have scored a touchdown on their opening drive of the second half in all 3 games so far this season. Trying to make it 4 for 4 as they sling it to Driver, a gain of 5.
You know, I'm interested to hear that, Joe, because I know last week they were able to do that against the Indianapolis Colts when they'd gotten behind. They answered on the first drive of the second half. Here they are after having really not done anything in the first half, putting together a drive. They get the ball on the 20-yard line, and here they are marching down the field.
And Troy, they're doing it the same way they did against Indianapolis a week ago, coming out, throwing the ball, not trying to reestablish the run.
That's got to make Favre happy. Another throw. Maybe. Favre buying time, and he just flips it in the direction of nobody. And they're going to finally throw the flag.
Well, I was wondering if they were going to throw it. Favre is down. You don't know if maybe he banged his left shoulder, the one that's been giving him some problems. He did go down hard, and he's still on the ground.
May have gotten a finger to the eye or something up into the face mask. William Joseph, last year's first-round pick, had pressure.
And William Joseph was just relentless on that one, getting by Gray Rugemer, who, of course, is filling in for Mike Flanagan. So maybe the first time we've seen a direct result of Mike Flanagan being out. You just don't imagine that he's going to get that kind of penetration against
Face
Flanagan.
Pass, number 92 of the defense. Intentional grounding, number 4 of the offense. The penalties will offset. Still 2nd down.
So we'll take some more looks at replays and try to determine what happened to Brett Favre, who is still down. We'll take a break in Green Bay. They're checking on Brett Favre over on the sideline.
2nd and 6.
And it could be any one of a number of things as now they work on the lower part of his body. Kind of looked like on the replays we saw during the break He banged the back of his head against the turf as he came down, as Ahman Green carries for no gain, bring up 3rd down.
And a lot of times when you're moving straight backwards getting tackled and your arms can't help you, your head will whip on the ground. Watch Brett's helmet. When it snaps down like that, it can definitely give you a concussion. I've had it several times, and Troy, I know you have too.
Too many to remember.
And awfully wobbly getting back over to the bench. So it's Doug Peterson in the game while Favre tries to figure out if he can continue. He couldn't continue last week in Indianapolis. Pass is complete, but short of a 1st down to Bubba Franks. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, obviously a lot of concern for Packers fans regarding Brett Favre. The trainers tell me that he really just suffered a really severe hit to the ground, that his head, he basically had his bell rung, is how they described it. They said his return is probable.
Oh, there he goes.
On 4th and 5.
The announcer here at the stadium said 4th and 4, and number 4 ran in there. Got to watch out for the hard count here, though.
Well, you also got to wonder if Brett's seeing clearly.
Working into the wind on 4th down and 5. They skip the field goal. They'll try to pick up a 1st down. Favre flips it. Javon Walker with a catch and a touchdown. Only Brett Favre can pull that off.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Another look. They go for it on 4th and 5. They take a shot on a corner route. Brett Favre comes in off the sidelines just in time to get the play call, make the call, and then throws the touchdown pass.
You know what I love about Brett Favre? Most other quarterbacks, 4th and 4, you're thinking some 5-yard quick little pass. The heck with that. Let's go down the field, hit a touchdown.
His Lambeau legend continues to grow week after week, year after year. Got his bell rung and then takes the pack into the end zone. 7-0. That's now 29 consecutive games with a touchdown pass for Brett Favre. That's 3rd all time. He's 1 behind Marino. 18 behind Unitas, who holds the all-time mark with 47. Career touchdown pass number 353. And if Favre was happy that a big old bruise showed up on the back of his left leg after getting kneed last week, so he had evidence of being hurt, that he couldn't finish the game in Indianapolis. Now he's over there after quote unquote getting his bell rung, and he's got everybody in his face making sure he's all right. Completing the 4th down pass. This is Finn, who catches the line drive kickoff, and good field position for the Giants as they'll mark Finn down just shy of the 40.
Well, we'll take another look. They're running a corner route, and really Frank Walker, he's keying inside, but he goes and he tries to play Javon Walker instead of the ball. Actually, he had an opportunity. Of course, Frank Walker hasn't been playing much. This is his first game back. Might have been able to make a play there, but great job by Javon Walker knowing where the end zone was and getting it in. And of course, Brett Favre, as you mentioned, Joe, the legend continues.
First possession of the 2nd half for Warner and company, and the pass is complete to Amani Toomer, good for 9 yards. Well, our month-long trek to and through the World Series will begin on Tuesday night on Fox. The divisional playoffs begin. The Angels or the Twins at the Yankees are a National League Game 1 matchup Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We hope you join us not only Tuesday night, but throughout the month.
If it ends up being the Giants, does anybody pitch to Barry Bonds?
No. 2nd down and 1. That's Tiki Barber. Bust into the open field, and the Giants answer. No scoring in the first half. 2 quick ones here in the 2nd half.
Well, what happened, Joe, is Green Bay decided that they were going to bring the blitz. And sometimes when you're running the football with an all-out blitz, if you're able to get past the initial line of scrimmage, you can then take it all the way on the distance. You're going to see Al Harris at the bottom of your screen. He's coming on the blitz. They're trying to put pressure Tiki Barber is able to get past the line of scrimmage, and then there's just nobody there to try to bring him down on the ground. It's just a foot race at that time.
Looked exactly like what Thomas Jones did for the Chicago Bears. They try and blitz. You break through that initial line of scrimmage, and there's nobody there. The safeties for the Green Bay Packers have had some real issues in filling those lanes.
Third rushing touchdown this season for Tiki Barber. 40th of his career. And Tiki Barber went 52 yards to make it a 7-7 game. Had only 2 rushing touchdowns all of last year, so he's better than that in 04. This is Chapman. Antonio Chapman out to the 35, and Doug Peterson will come out and play quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Favre is not able at this point to go back into the lineup, and let's check in with Pam Oliver.
Hey Joe, Brett Favre continues to get medical treatment here on the sideline. Trainers continue to pay close attention to him. He tends to perch himself on this cooler down here, and he has not moved since they scored that touchdown. The Packers say Favre's return will be on a series-by-series basis.
Peterson at quarterback.
I just wonder if he even knew where he was when he went out on the field to throw the ball. I mean, I've been knocked out to where you don't remember anything till a quarter later.
Amon Green with a penalty flag down. Green picked up maybe a half yard, but we'll check the marker. And after we get the call from Pete Morelli, I want to ask you, Troy, what it's like to try to trot back out there with your head ringing and figure out an offense and a defense.
Number 62 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
What's it like?
You know, I think what it's like is, you just don't really feel like you're in the moment, and everything's very cloudy, and that's why I was a little surprised when you run back out there on the field as he did. And I made the comment, can he even see clearly? Because a lot of times you can. And it obviously depends on the severity of the blow to the head. It appeared to be very severe, and trying to shake that loose to where you're able to see clearly and think clearly, it's very, very difficult. It's a groggy state, and he's certainly experiencing that right now. And knowing what that feels like, I hope that he's okay.
Play action from Peterson. And Peterson will now just run. He gets hit out of bounds. And so far, no flag. It happened right on the Packers bench, but no flag is thrown.
You heard the reaction of the fans. I mean, they know that they cannot lose now Doug Peterson with Brett Favre on the sidelines, but it looked like Doug Peterson was trying to get as much yards as he could. He wasn't quite out of, no, he didn't get a good angle there. He actually might have been out of bounds when he got the blow. It was close. I think as a defender, you've got to be careful when a quarterback's starting to go out.
I think that's a good no call. He was definitely trying to pick up additional yardage and was not making a move. That's a good call.
Brings up second down and 14. Peterson, Henderson. William Henderson with a move. Another move as he leaps a tackler. And a first down inside Giants territory.
It's absolutely amazing to watch someone 250 pounds in their 10th year in the league make this sort of athletic move against a couple of cornerbacks. Going to go down low because he's so big. I want no piece of him. Jump right over the top. Huge first down on about a 2nd and 14.
I think that's what we've seen so much of in this league is just poor tackling, particular by defensive backs. Both guys, Will Allen and then Jabril Wilson, try to go low without any arms involved, and that's why they didn't bring him to the ground.
Amon Green gets it just inside the 42. We'll step aside, give you a game break. Here's JB in LA.
Hey, Joe, Clinton Portis' 4th fumble of the season gave Cleveland this opportunity. Jeff Garcia capitalizes on it, hooking up with Aaron Shea, 15 yards to pay dirt, and it is all knotted at 10 in Cleveland. 10:37 left in the third. Back to Joe, Troy, Chris, and Pam.
All right, JB, thanks. Second down and 5 here.
Giants showing blitz here.
That pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
I think it's really important at this point in the game to begin to talk about how important this game is. Yes, I know it's early in the season. We're only at week 4, but for the Green Bay Packers, now with Brett Favre out, for them to go to 1-3 should they lose this game, very difficult hole to try and climb out of. And for the New York Giants, should they be able to come up with a way to win this one, to go 3-1 with a big road win would just propel them the rest of the season.
3rd down and 5. Blitz coming. Peterson fires and it's intercepted. Penalty flag on the play. Intercepted back the other way is Frank Walker, but this one may be coming back. The official who threw the flag is saying, come on back. This one is against the Giants. No interception, no touchdown. And if it's a hold, it'll be an automatic 1st down for the Packers.
Well, you see there, Frank Walker, the hold, and that's what got him turned. That's what got Robert Ferguson turned to allow him to get underneath.
Automatic 1st down.
It is a hold on Walker, who at the end of the touchdown run threw it up into the seats. And if it's not really a touchdown, shouldn't you have to go up and get the football?
Yeah, good luck. Good luck getting up in this stands and getting the ball.
You know, Frank Walker missed so much of camp in the first 3 games because of that bad foot injury. You just have to wonder how acclimated to those new rules he really is. You know, it gets driven into your brain during the course of the early days of camp and what happened during those first 3 games. And so far today, he's been caught twice at the same kind of a call.
It erases an interception and a 69-yard return for a touchdown. Gives Green Bay a 1st down. Peterson's going for the end zone. Ferguson, the intended receiver, incomplete. That penalty flag comes in.
That's offensive pass interference.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. He had great position.
You're right. It is on Green Bay.
And Robert Ferguson tried going right through him to get to the ball. A good job, actually, on Ferguson's part
Pass
to break up an interception.
89 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
You know, there's a good chance Will Allen comes down with the interception if Robert Ferguson does not try to make the play there, but easy call for the official. You know, Chris, going back to the Frank Walker situation and it being his 1st game back, and you just wonder, when you don't have your feet and you don't have your legs, you know, the first thing you want to then start doing as an athlete is you want to start grabbing. And that's what we're seeing from Frank Walker.
Brings up 1st and 20. And while Peterson plays, it's worth talking about the backup situation here with the Packers as they hand to Ahman Green, and he lost a yard. You know, they've tried to develop somebody behind Brett Favre, and Favre has withstood any kind of a challenge. They brought in Tim Couch over the offseason. That didn't work out. They have Craig Nall, but Peterson's a backup to Favre, and Peterson's an older guy than Favre, but eventually these days are going to end. Favre's going to turn 35 in a few days.
Yeah, and you hear Favre, you just don't know from one year to the next how much longer he's going to play. But, you know, how valuable now is the snaps that Doug Peterson got last week?
He ended the game in Indianapolis. 2nd down and 21. The pass is tipped and incomplete. Will Allen on the coverage. Walker, the intended receiver. Next week, as we await a 3rd and 21, the Giants at the Cowboys early, a big game. Vikings at the Texans, and then late we'll be out in Denver for the Carolina Broncos game. Also late, the Rams at Seattle.
And I tell you what, Joe, I mean, you look at this Giants secondary, they have challenged these receivers. They're playing them extremely aggressively. You can tell that Will Allen and Will Peterson have tremendous confidence going up against this group.
3rd down and 21. They drop off a screen to Fisher. And Fisher is brought down way shy of 1st down yardage, and now kicking into the wind. You're in a situation where you may punt it, and that's what Green Bay will do.
Yeah, this would going the other way, they probably take their shot at the field goal, about a 50-yarder, but going this way into the wind, almost no shot whatsoever. So just try and punt them back and force it to go the other way. But right now for the Green Bay Packers, at least they've eaten up most of the time here in this quarter when they've had to go into the wind and had pretty good offensive production.
Well, that, and now they'll pin the Giants offensively back in their own end zone.
The punt by Barker, fair catch by Jones. Now the Giants get it back in a 7-7 game. The story in this second half. 2 touchdowns, 1 for each side, and the health of Brett Favre, who staggered off. His status uncertain at this point.
Camry SE for the new you. Now that's moving you forward.
How do you feel about your financial future?
Unclear.
Focused.
Uncertain.
What if you could feel differently?
Optimistic.
Focused.
Confident.
Hopeful.
In control.
Smart.
Supported.
Able to sleep. At peace.
Prepared. On target.
What if someone could help you feel this way? Someone who's helping over 2 million people feel this way. Wouldn't you listen? The personal financial advisors of American Express.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. By Universal Pictures Friday Night Lights in theaters Friday. By the personal financial advisors of American Express. And by WebMD, redefining modern medicine.
The great Vince Lombardi, who was the head coach for the Green Bay Packers, 59-67, the Hall of Famer, and an idol for Tom Coughlin, who coached here as well with Green Bay. Handoff is to Barber, and he ran into a wall. Coughlin said, "I love the atmosphere at Lambeau Field. I loved following the career of Vince Lombardi, but it's not like we're going to come in here and take everybody for a tour through the Packer Hall of Fame. We're coming here to win a game."
Yeah, and I don't think anybody questioned that. You know, you don't have to be around Tom Coughlin to know that he's all business. He was a wide receivers coach here back in '86 and '87, so he is very aware of the rich tradition here in Green Bay.
2nd down and 10. Warner slings it incomplete. Shockey was the closest one to it. 3rd and 10.
We've really seen the Green Bay Packers when they have been burned this season defensively. It has been when they blitz. The last time, the long run by Tiki Barber, it was a blitz. They tried to make a play. Their safeties have been trying to come up and fill the gaps and fill the voids and just not doing a very good job. Nick Barnett did not do a very good job. But when they sit back in this type of defense, very conservative defense, they've been solid today.
Favre with his helmet back on 3rd down and 10. And that'll cost the Giants 5 yards. They couldn't get set. Warner was trying to tell everybody what to do, including Shockey. And now we'll wait and see if it is indeed against the Giants, but it was all out of sync.
False start. Number 67 offense. 5-yard penalty still. 3rd down.
They get the rookie Snee.
Well, it becomes very hard to hear when you're on the road and you're down here backed up in the end zones because of the crowd noise. And you know, you go back to that last drive by Green Bay offensively and being able to pin the Giants down inside the 10-yard line. This is a big 3rd down, at least as far as trying to pick up some yards. If they don't get any yards here, then they're giving the ball back to Green Bay with a great spot on the field in terms of going back and getting points.
On 3rd and 15, Warner over the middle, nearly picked off by Harris. He stepped in front of Toomer.
And I think if Al Harris had been playing the ball and not the man, I think he comes up with an interception. I mean, it looked like he was watching Amani Toomer. He's up here in press. It's clearly man-to-man coverage. He sees the ball, and he actually had a real good chance of coming away with that. Amani Toomer was just able to get a hand in there and keep him from getting it.
Well, the Packers defensively were put in a lot of man coverage situations last week and got barbecued, but boy, they played great in their zone defenses today.
Good punt with the wind. And it's Chapman on the return. Penalty flags are down on the return. And while the ball right now is inside Giant territory, it doesn't figure to be there for very long. Peterson is going back out into the huddle while Favre, with his helmet on, is standing on the sideline. I guess he's turning into the fourth down specialist today.
Well, yeah, it kind of makes you wonder if he even got cleared to run out there on the field on the fourth down touchdown pass, because if he was healthy right now, I mean, you can't imagine that he'd be standing on the sidelines. He'd be out there playing. And so then you beg to ask the question, well, should he have been in there throwing it on the fourth down?
Yes, he threw a touchdown.
Well, from what we understand, the medical personnel for the Packers had not cleared him to go back out on that fourth down, but
there are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal block in the back, number 26. That penalty will be declined. Personal foul. 4 players out of bounds blocking. Number 25, that penalty will be accepted. 15 yards from the end of the catch. First down.
So Brett Favre on that fourth down put himself back in the game. Those on the Packers sideline didn't stop him. He completed the touchdown throw to Walker. The Giants answered, and now Green Bay has it back. It's 7-7 with Peterson in the game.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. West Coast overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
UPS delivers more packages on time than anyone. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
HP services and technology help the world's great companies face, manage, and love change. HP. Invent.
Save one for me. The moonlight in your eyes.
Okay, we've got illegal use of the brain on Tom, passing out beer with less taste than Miller Lite. Replacing with great tasting, less filling Miller Lite, half the carbs of Bud Light. We've also got intentional acoustic romanticism on Gary. Girls not buying it, tent invitation declined. Wait, what? Play beer.
Chicks dig music.
Miller. Good call. Introducing the Extra Points credit card from the National Football League. Log on to NFL.com/extrapoints today and start living your NFL dreams.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call.
Wind is whipping around. 7-7 game. Gotta hang on to your wig.
Or not.
Or just let it blow away.
Cheese doesn't blow away, though.
Hold on to your cheese. Instead of having the ball inside Giants territory, personal foul marches it back inside the 25. And the pass is complete to David Martin. In case you're just joining us now, flag comes down at the end of that last play. Favre suffered this blow to the head. The back of his head banged against the grass as he went down. Came out of the lineup and then back in on a fourth down to complete this 28-yard touchdown throw to Javon Walker for the first points of the day. And for a guy who after this couldn't continue.
Of the offense, hitting late. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
They just got Gray Rugemer, the new setter for Green Bay, on a late hit. Just going to say, as we were remarking during the break, Favre went down and celebrated the end of that touchdown. And there's the hit by Rugemer that drew the flag. And that's 2 personal fouls, the same possession for Green Bay.
Well, we talked about it. Rugemer making the start for Mike Flanagan. He's a very aggressive, physical, nasty type player. He knew that coming into the game, but just a dumb penalty right there, which should have been great field position after holding the Giants on their end of the field. Now they're backed up all the way inside their own 20.
On 2nd and 16, Ahman Green running right. Got to the 20. The first guy there was Strahan on the stop.
You know, I joked that, yes, Brett Favre should have gone back in the game because he threw a touchdown pass. But the simple truth is the league has done a much better job in the past decade or so of not allowing players to come back into the game with a concussion. The doctor talking to Brett on the sideline obviously understands that he's not right. He's not answering the questions the way that he should if he were all there, and they're not allowing him back in the game. You have to really give him a lot of credit in a game that's this important to take care of Brett Favre, the person.
3rd down and 14. And an inside flip to Green. Nifty play, and Ahman Green has a Green Bay first down. They needed 14. Green got 18.
Well, that was just a well-executed play there by the Green Bay Packers. They run the shovel pass. You run at the defensive ends, get them coming up the field. That's what happens. And then you get Ahman Green in that crease behind him. You've got the offensive lineman, in essence, going down the field like a screen. You got lead blockers. You got the ball in the hands of a great runner. And a key first down pickup.
And Ozzie Umenyiora that time just did not recognize it at all. A veteran player would have made that play.
A complete turnaround in time of possession in the second half as Nick Lucci, who last week and this week is getting some time at tailback, picks up 4.
You know, anytime you're in a game like this and it's close, and as we take a look at Ahman Green, and he's talking with the doctors now as well. Well, you got Brett Favre out of the game already. You can hardly afford to lose the services of Ahman Green. But you know, you get into a game like this that's this close, and field position and then converting on 3rd downs becomes absolutely huge.
So many injuries for the Green Bay Packers. They just can't get away from them to start this season.
2nd down and 6. Peterson came back over the middle looking for Martin, and Barrett Green knocked it down.
And I think what we're starting to sense from the Giants, I mean, obviously they're playing with a lot of confidence on the defensive side of the ball. We've seen Frank Walker, Will Allen, Will Peterson challenging these receivers. I think it's real close if you're Green Bay to try to take a shot down the field. Whether or not you want to do that here on 3rd and 6, but if they convert here on a first down, I would expect the next play to be some kind of shot to give them a chance for a big play.
3rd down and 6.
Frank Walker at the bottom of the screen. See if they go after him again.
Peterson fires over the outstretched hand of Antonio Chapman, and there was pressure on the play by Will Allen. Allen got his first sack ever last week in the home win over Cleveland, and he now likes coming on blitzes.
And Javon Walker at the bottom of your screen was wide open. They come with the blitz that way. If they'd have worked against Frank Walker, who was way off there, they would have picked up that first down. I was a little surprised once you see the blitz coming to that side, you don't go right back to it. Just not sure Doug Peterson ever saw it.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Into the wind, an ugly punt by Barker. Dangerous pickup by Jones, who gets it to the 26.
Jones on the 25-yard line.
Some of the faces, the players you will see this postseason across Major League Baseball and the playoffs on Fox. Johan Santana, who may be the best pitcher in baseball that nobody knows. Pujols and Gagne. What a win yesterday for the Dodgers, getting 7 runs in the 9th inning to beat the Giants.
But I know you're going to be calling some of those games, Joe. You looking forward to it?
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, it's fun to get involved in those series and see how they unfold, see who's going to step up.
It's a great time for baseball fans.
Minute 28 left in the 3rd quarter. Play action from Warner. That's to the sideline and that's Amani Toomer with a first down. I touched on it earlier, Chris. Maybe the raw statistics don't knock you over, but just the way the ball is coming out of the hand of Kurt Warner is so different than it has been the last couple of years in St. Louis with all those wobbling ducks coming out. He's got some zip on him.
Yeah, and I tell you, when you know a quarterback's healthy, I was down on the field with him. Troy, you were down there too, watching him warm up, and he was throwing into the 35-mile-an-hour wind. If your thumb's hurting you and you're not right, you don't throw into the wind to warm up.
Tiki Barber, nice game, penalty flag on the play. I believe it was Tom Coughlin. That was Coughlin. Came running on the field.
65 the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
When the official threw the flag for that infraction, Coughlin came flying out onto the field to protest.
Oh, he's right here. He's your left guard. It's Jason Whittle. He gets the arm around him, hooks him.
Good call.
Yeah, easy call. You know, a lot of penalties in this game today on both teams that have hurt drives and kept them from moving the football, and pretty sloppy in that area.
1st and 20. Pass is complete to Shockey. Shockey stays on his feet and gets it down just inside the 40.
Well, and you see him slam the ball on the ground.
That just cost the Giants 15 yards.
And that's just pure frustration on Shockey's part. I mean, it really is. Prior to that catch, he had 2 receptions in this ball game, and becoming more and more frustrated that he's not more utilized within this offense. Now he runs the corner route. They finally get the ball in his hands, and out of frustration by not getting the ball earlier in the game, that's what he does, and it's a dumb penalty. And Jeremy Shockey needs to be smarter than that.
The Giants keep the first down, but it's going to cost them 15 yards and bring it back to their own 45.
You know, when you do something to bring attention to yourself that hurts your football team, that's embarrassing, and that's weak.
Well, Jeremy Shockey's an emotional guy. He's been such a big part of this offense, at least prior to this year. They're asking him to do a lot of different things. He doesn't feel completely comfortable within it, and he has not been a focal point of this Giants attack.
Diggs coming on a blitz. They screen it to Tiki Barber. And the final play of the 3rd quarter is good for 7 yards. So the Giants will have the ball inside Green Bay territory. 1 quarter to go at Lambeau. A 7-7 score. The NFL on Fox will continue after this from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
It's the final days of the Dodge model year-end clearance. Announcing 0+ on our best selection of remaining 2004 Dodge vehicles. Get the 04 Dodge you want, like the Hemi-powered Dodge Ram 1500 with 0% financing, plus $2,500 in bonus cash for a total savings of up to $8,400. And still get our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. But hurry to your Dodge dealer because model year-end clearance has just been extended to October 4th.
Great, I'll call you.
He's nice.
I gave him a phony number.
Why?
Do you know how few wireless minutes I have? He's just not minute-worthy.
Huh.
Need more anytime minutes? Switch to US Cellular, where you can move up to a higher rate plan and back down again. So you'll always have the minutes you need. It's one more way we connect with you. US Cellular.
Fact. No one has more SUV choices than Chevy. Period. Get the right deal on the right SUV right now during the Chevy Right Truck event. Now get $6,000 total cash back on a 2004 Trailblazer or Trailblazer EXT with GMAC financing. Hurry, the Chevy Right Truck event ends November 1st. See your local Chevy dealer today for the #1 selling cars and trucks in Wisconsin.
The Packers Blitz tonight at 10:35, only on Fox 6.
The New York Giants coming into this game with a record of 2-1. The Packers off 2 consecutive losses, trying to avoid their 2nd consecutive home loss. A 7-7 game, 4th quarter now. 2nd down and 4. Tiki Barber, plenty of room to run, and Tiki Barber with Sharper bearing down on him gets it inside the 10.
Visanthe Shiancoe has had an unbelievable game blocking for Tiki Barber. His block on the first long touchdown run sprang him there. Now watch him here in motion, going to come right there and just clear the way for Tiki Barber to hit that cutback lane. Tremendous job by a tight end that you just wouldn't see out of a lot of guys being able to make that kind of a block.
Mark Roman, the safety for Green Bay, came up and had a chance to make a tackle for minimal gain, at least not as much yardage as he got. He took the bad angle and missed the play.
And Mark Barber out of bounds just inside the 12. Pass is complete, but only to the 10-yard line to Ike Hilliard. Well, here we go again. This happened in the first half. Early, the Giants down here had Dane in the lineup. They have Dane in the lineup right now, but Barber is on the sideline. You wonder for how long. He's got to be in the lineup, and here he comes.
Well, and they're putting, obviously you make a run like that, you want to go over and get your breath, but they have to have him in the game. I mean, we've seen when Ron Dayne's in the game and how ineffective they are running the football, and we have seen how effective they are when Tiki Barber's back there. Now they go to an empty set.
On 2nd down, Warner hangs in there. Now will scramble, try to run it in. Warner is going to be marked down shy of the goal line, but it's a 1st down for the Giants.
It's a 1st down, Joe, but if he just goes head first, which is what he should have done, he protects himself from getting hurt, and then he also scores on the play. As you watch, Kurt Warner right here has got open field. Get it in the end zone, just run it in or lunge in feet first, or excuse me, head first. Once you slide, it's where the ball is, and you're giving yourself up.
I think that's a good call. He began that slide, and the ball was still behind the end line. All it's got to do.
The quarterback gave himself up by sliding. The ball will be placed on the half-yard line. 1st down, New York Giants.
So it is a 1st down for the Giants. No touchdown. Darren Sharper was injured on that last play, and will have to come out of the game for a play. It's 1st and goal.
Well, and you think back to last week when Kurt Warner scored the touchdown and he took the big hit. How much of that went into his mind when he decided to slide here at the goal line? You see where the ball is right there. Just not a very good decision by Kurt Warner. The good news, as you mentioned, Joe, is it is 1st down.
You could see Favre mouthing he thought it was a touchdown. I'm sure Giants fans think it was a touchdown, but they're going to have to settle for 1st and goal from the half-yard line.
And if they fumble this snap or don't get this thing in, that'll be the most famous hook slide in Giant history.
And with Tiki Barber on the sideline and Dane the tailback, it's 1st and goal.
They flinched.
I thought so too.
They flinched.
Penalty flag on the play, and this is going to cost the Giants 5 yards.
Oh boy. You know, I'm all for hook slides, but when you're in a 7-7 ball game and
prior to the snap, false start, 65 the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
A huge 5-yard penalty on Jason Whittle.
There are times to hook slide and there are times to not, and that was a not. You have to score that touchdown for your team. Now you're in trouble because this short yardage situation has been really tough throughout the season on the Giants.
Well, the other thing that you want to do offensively down here is you want to get up to the ball and snap it. You don't want to leave these guys in their stance for too long. Tiki Barber back in the game at tailback.
Sharper is back in the game at safety for Green Bay. Call could have gone against Pettigrew. 1st and goal. Draw play. Tiki Barber. Nowhere to go. 2nd and goal.
Well, you look at the way this game has gone and the missed opportunities for the New York Giants. The missed field goal, Kurt Warner throwing the interception, a chance to just walk into the end zone and take a 1-touchdown lead. You go through this game, missed interception early on. Come back, throw the interception, and you're definitely in field goal range. Missed field goal, and now the hook slide.
2nd and goal. A flip, Toomer, incomplete.
Wow.
3rd and goal for the Ravens.
This is one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
Well, Chris, I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm still having a hard time getting over this slide by Kurt Warner down on the 1-yard line. I mean, I've been in that situation, and I know when you got to take a slide in order to protect yourself in the middle of the field. But when you're talking about an opportunity to get points, I mean, you either stand on your feet and run through a guy, or you dive and put the ball across the goal line, and that could come back and cost them.
This bolt is 4.5 inches long, made from hardened alloy steel. 6 of them connect the cargo box of the Ford F-150 to its frame. Why do we do this when others don't? Because we're building the strongest pickup. You can be sure of that. We are. Only one truck earned the right to be the next Ford F-150.
Gotcha! That was a good one. Honey, did you get it? I got it!
What would you do on your own private island? Check your mail for the Capital One No Hassle Island giveaway. You could instantly win your own island for one of hundreds of island getaways.
What's in your wallet? This Wednesday, we're going now, baby, now. They're a dynamic duo.
We gotta play to your strengths. And thinking ain't one of them.
In this year's funniest movie.
He's gonna do something. He just winked at me. And what's wrong with you? Did you frisk him? He got at least one more gun on him. Cavity searcher. Ah!
Queen Latifah, Jimmy Fallon.
This is your unmarked car?
We found her.
A Daewoo? I can't be seen in this thing. Open the door. I don't want to get Daewoo on my hands.
Taxi.
Get over there.
I got chocolate. Rated PG-13. Wednesday in select theaters. Everywhere Friday.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the next Ford F-150, built Ford tough. By Taxi, starring Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon, Friday only in theaters. By Coors Light, the coldest tasting beer in the world. Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 39. And by Singular, the wireless company that fits you best.
The Packers Hall of Fame inside this beautifully renovated Lambeau Field. It's 3rd down and goal from the 4. That's Shockey. That's towards Shockey. That's a Shockey touchdown. Jeremy Shockey into the end zone, his first touchdown of the season, and that breaks this 7-7 tie.
And he didn't spike it. And you know, really, when you talk about Jeremy Shockey and what he's best at, it's when he can line up and know that's the guy that I got to beat. And he draws a corner. He's got Michael Hawthorne on him, and that's the challenge that Jeremy Shockey really wants in a ball game. He got it there. Kurt Warner gave him a good ball, and he delivered.
You know, absolutely horrible coverage by Michael Hawthorne. He had help to the inside, and he allows Shockey, a tight end, to put a move on him and get to the outside. Unforgivable for a cornerback in that coverage.
And Shockey got Warner off the hook.
You got to give him the keys to his car after that one.
It's a 14-7 Giant lead. Out of the hand of Kurt Warner into the hands of Jeremy Shockey. And the Giants have their... It was a one-on-one matchup of Jeremy Shockey and Michael Hawthorne. Hawthorne, part of an injury-depleted secondary for the Green Bay Packers, playing without Mike McKenzie and Ahmad Carroll. And it was Warner flipping it up for his big target, number 80, for the touchdown. A kick into a wall of wind, and it's Chapman. Out to the 35, maybe a little beyond to the 36. Let's go back to that slide by Warner. And again, just to clarify, as Chris was saying earlier, that the rule is when the quarterback begins his slide, that's where the ball is marked down.
So right there it is. you can see clearly it is not there. The one official up top here is going to signal touchdown and going to get overruled by the linesman who'll come in the picture late. But he got it right. The linesman got it right.
You look at that replay and you think about the knee coming down and the ball being in the end zone, but the call is when he starts the slide. That's why there was no touchdown. But on 3rd and goal, Warner made good on the touchdown toss to Shockey. Toss to Green running left. Ahman Green gets smacked by Emmons and was brought down just shy of first down yardage.
Yeah, the other thing we should bring up is all the injuries in this secondary. Mike McKenzie, of course, the holdout and the hamstring and all the other stuff that goes on. But I guarantee if Mike McKenzie's in there cornerback instead of Michael Hawthorne, no way Jeremy Shockey gets the outside. Defensive coordinator Bob Slowick had the perfect play call. They had a bracket on the outside on Shockey, and Hawthorne just blew it.
2nd down and 1. Handoff is to Green, and Ahman Green gets a first down, but a flag comes in the area of a hold.
Yeah, in the area of Gray Rugemer is where the flag was thrown. Already been penalized with unnecessary roughness, which was a big penalty just a few series ago.
Holding. 67 the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
This offensive line has been together for so long, and now all of a sudden you have to throw Gray Rugemer in there, and he's had a really tough day. William Joseph, who generally is not known for his talents after being drafted in the 1st round for the New York Giants, has really eaten him alive today, and a couple of major penalties. Tough day.
There's Mike Flanagan, who has been lost for the rest of the season. Will undergo left knee surgery. Just could not continue. 2nd down and 11. Peterson fires, and that's nearly picked off by the other Peterson, with Ferguson the intended receiver.
I talked a little bit earlier about the jump that both Will Allen and Will Peterson are getting on these outside breaking routes. We get again there we see Will Peterson. Watch him. He sees the lean, and as soon as a good DB sees a receiver start to lean, he starts driving on the ball. That's what Will Peterson does there. I would expect to see an out and up or something to give Green Bay a chance for a big play down the field to counterbalance this aggressive nature by this Giants secondary.
Now it's 3rd and 11. Doug Peterson fires underneath. No catch, juggled by Martin.
And Troy, I think what is happening is that the Giants are not showing a lot of respect for Doug Peterson's ability to get the ball down the field. They're anticipating that he's going to make these short throws, and until they at least throw it down the field a little bit, you're not going to get a lot of respect. Did you see the curve on that ball? Did you see how much that ball moved in the air right before it got to David Martin?
I didn't.
Okay, good.
Okay. You're referencing the wind?
I just thought I'd throw it out there, give it a shot.
Ryan Barker about to punt it to Mark Jones. Line drive punt with the wind, and Jones from inside the 15. Gets it to the 21. Hawthorne on the stop, an 8-yard return. Giants get it. They lead by 7. 4th possession of the 2nd half for the Giants. They've scored 2 touchdowns in the 2nd half. The 1 punt. Warner today has thrown his first interception and his 2nd touchdown. The touchdown throw is to Shockey, and this completion is to Shockey for a first down. It's been a dramatic day so far at Lambeau Field. The Giants, who have not won at this stadium since 1971 after the injury to Favre, coming back on a 4th down play. The completion to Javon Walker. The long run by Barber, and breaking the tie was the flip on 3rd and goal to Shockey. And it's 14-7 Giants in the 4th quarter.
And we're now starting to see Shockey become more involved in this offense just in the last quarter here. He's already caught 3 passes.
Michael Hawthorne was injured covering that last punt as they hand to Barber. And so that means that Jason Horton, who had a rough introduction to the lineup last week at the hands of Peyton Manning is back out there for Green Bay. So now they're without Hawthorne, Carroll, and McKenzie, as Hawthorne was able to walk off under his own power, but so far is on the sideline.
Well, and if you're the Giants, you've got to recognize that Jason Horton is out on the field. He struggled last week. You've got Tim Carter lined up on him right now. You've got to take advantage of this matchup right here between those two.
Second down and 6. They hand it to Barber. And Tiki Barber has another New York first down.
That play has really been rough on the Green Bay Packers defensively. Visanthe Shiancoe comes in short motion back towards this side of the ball and then just basically gets a hand, just a shove on the defender, and all of a sudden the running back all day long has been able to cut back behind it. The Packers have just had no answer for it whatsoever.
You know, you got to give some pressure. You got to try to get some pressure on Kurt Warner, but again, with Jason Horton out there covering, you'd like to think they're going to give him some kind of help with a safety.
He's now across from Shockey. On first down, Warner throws left. Hilliard with a catch, spinning his way out to the 49. Today's game being seen around the world on Armed Forces Television. We want to send our very best wishes to the men and women of the 86th Airlift Wing at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany.
And we really can't thank those people enough. You know, I try every day to think about what they're doing overseas and how brave and how incredible their efforts are, because America just wouldn't be the same without them. And guys and gals, thank you very much.
From all of us here in the booth and with Fox Sports, second down and 5. Handoff is to Ron Dayne. Dayne gets it to the 48 of Green Bay, and that'll bring up third down.
I just can't imagine the New York Giants not taking advantage, or at least not taking a shot and testing a young corner that struggled a year ago, and to now go 3 plays with him out there on Shockey. He was on Tim Carter. This last play, Jason Horton was on Amani Toomer, and yet they run the ball or they throw away from him. I'm a little surprised by that.
Third down and 2. They still throw away. It's Hilliard, and it's Ike Hilliard with a first down. Hilliard gets it just inside the 35-yard line. KGB on the tackle and a gain of 13. Hilliard and the Giants are fired up.
And Troy, you just have to wonder how much the wind is playing into the play calling decisions here. About the only passing game that we've seen now out of the Giants going into this win are some of those short screens and the quick throws. And sooner or later now the Packers are going to have to recognize that, begin the challenge, maybe begin the blitz, and try and force them to throw the ball down the field to at least take a shot at getting some sort of a turnover.
Now Hawthorne is back in the lineup, lined up across from Carter. On first down, handoff is to Barber. One thing Tom Coughlin said was he's impressed with Barber, who's not a big guy, but a powerful running back, that when he gets into a pile, the pile moves forward, not backward, and there's no reason to think that Tiki Barber can't handle the full load at running back for the Giants.
No question. Last year, of course, Ron Dayne did not play, but the year before that, they wanted to make him a short yardage back. Didn't feel that Tiki Barber could be that guy. This year, the same thing. They still talk about Ron Dayne being the short yardage guy, but what we've seen every time when Tiki's been in there and he plays, going back to last year, going back to this year, even last week, he moves the pile, like you said, Joe, and like Tom Coughlin said, and he's just a complete football player in my mind. I mean, he does put the ball on the ground, and that's one of his real flaws. But beyond that, he's a guy that makes plays, and those are the kind of guys you want on your team.
You know, not this year. He hasn't fumbled yet this season, right?
No, it'll happen.
Second down for the Giants. Now Warner looks to his right and completes it. Amani Toomer, who was working on Hawthorne, and a first down at the Green Bay 22.
And that's great pass protection up front. Kurt Warner given plenty of time to just sit there and allow Amani Toomer to work on that route. That's why he was able to get open. Kurt starts left and gets back to Amani Toomer, and that's what tells me that Kurt Warner's getting more and more comfortable within this offense. He's able to go from his first, second to his third reads, and you're not able to do that unless you have a good understanding of where those people are.
This could be a knockout blow if the Giants can go down and get a touchdown, leading by 7 right now. Ron Dayne gets it to the 18, a gain of 4.
You know, really a field goal here is just as much of a knockout blow, but you don't want to be too conservative now for the Giants from the simple standpoint. This wind is really whipping, and they would have to kick directly into the wind. And watching in pregame warm-ups, I mean, anything inside the 30-yard line was a pretty difficult kick. So right now it would be what would be about 36-yard field goal or so. They should be able to make that, but a lot of wind swirling out there right now.
2nd down and 7. Tiki Barber down inside the 16-yard line. And a timeout is called. Green Bay takes a timeout. Brett Favre was dropped to the turf with 11:39 remaining in the third quarter. Would come back for one more play, a 28-yard touchdown throw to Javon Walker, and that's it. The Giants have dominated this game otherwise. They've scored 14 unanswered points, and they're looking for more. Green Bay needs a stop on 3rd down and 4, and it's Tiki Barber.
Oh boy, that's going to be just short of the first down, and really no choice at all. I think it's just short.
It is.
And you have to kick this field goal here. You have to make it a 10-point lead, or try to.
Right now they're going to call the chains out onto the field. Looking at our yellow line, Barber was brought down shy of first down yardage, and we'll see just how accurate that baby is right here.
Skycam's going to go take a look too.
Giants getting their field goal unit ready. Our line is accurate, and the Giants have the decision on 4th and inches, and the field goal unit will trot onto the field for New York.
I'm watching Jeremy Shockey walk off the field. He was kicking at the ground. He was upset and angry that they weren't going to go for it on 4th down. And you know, Jeremy, I hate to tell you, there's not a decision to be made here. You're up 7, you get a chance to go up 10. there is no decision to make.
This is no gimme into the wind. A 30-yard try. Christie missed earlier on the other end of the field, a 49-yarder. This one is hooked. And there is life for the Packers here at Lambeau.
Oh boy, Tom Coughlin just cannot believe it.
I think Giant fans were hoping that their special team problems ended when Jim Fossil left, but they still continue.
I'll tell you, in this situation, I had to look up and check the huddle to see if number 4 came out there or not. He did not.
It's still Doug Peterson after that knuckler off the foot of Steve Christie. Starting from their own 20. Needing a touchdown to tie. Finally looking downfield, but dropping it down to a shorter receiver, Bubba Franks. And Franks gets it to the 26, a gain of 6.
Well, in that time, Green Bay did want to take the shot down the field. Doug Peterson had some time to throw the ball. They're trying to get the deep post over the top, but good coverage by the Giants forced him to come underneath. Good patience there by Doug Peterson. Still plenty of time in the game. They don't have to force anything. Be smart and just continually pick up completions and move these chains.
2nd down and 4, blitz coming from the Giants. Green Bay picks it up. Peterson fires high. Ferguson couldn't grab it, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
You just can't miss those opportunities. You caught the Giants in a blitz. Your guys do a great job of picking it up. From a quarterback and wide receiver standpoint, you have to be able to make that play and burn this blitz. Von Green did a great job picking that up. And Doug Peterson's just going to miss the throw.
Yeah, as a quarterback, when you're not used to facing the blitz because he hasn't been playing, didn't have confidence that it was going to get picked up, rushed the throw, and made a bad pass.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 4. Peterson going to try to run for it. He gets it. 1st down, Green Bay. Pam Oliver reporting to us that throughout this 4th quarter and even earlier in the 3rd quarter, Brett Favre has been trying to talk his way back into the game, but the medical staff won't let it happen. Peterson is going to have to go down the field and try to tie this.
Great job by O.C. Umenyiora getting pressure over there on Chad Clifton, but Doug Peterson able to step up because there was no inside pressure from New York.
Pass is high, and Ferguson gets
That's a shot to the head. Right to the face mask. Just a blow right to the head. I guess that's not a personal foul. Watch this. Peterson's just going to go right to the face mask. Official had a good look at it. No call.
I don't know what's a penalty anymore.
I don't know. I'm glad you said that. I'm just not sure sometimes.
Good gosh.
2nd down and 10. Quick throw in the air and picked off the hand of Donald Driver and into the arms of Terry Cousin.
Cousins on the interception.
Driver wasn't ready for it, just got a hand up, and that leads to another interception.
They bring the blitz off the slot. Doug Peterson's got to get the ball out. The ball's high, and anytime you're throwing a slant and you get the ball up, you have the risk of getting the ball tipped, which is what happens. Ball up in the middle of the field, more times than not, it's going to be intercepted. And gosh, you just cannot give this New York Giants defense enough credit for the job that they've done. We talked about it coming in. They really had not been challenged in their last 2 games. Did not play well in the opener. They played well today against a good offensive football team.
The Giants have feasted on turnovers this season, getting 7 in the game against Washington. The victory up at the Meadowlands as Green Bay will make the stop, spend a timeout. 3 turnovers today. And the latest one hands the ball to the Giants inside Green Bay territory, up 7.
I like steak and chicken. I like the grilled shrimp, please. I like skillet sensations.
You're back at Applebee's.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Well, these would have to be considered, guys, 2 of the surprise teams in the NFL. The Giants on the positive side, who were staring at a 3-1 start, and the Packers, who were looking at 1-3 and consecutive home losses to Chicago, and now the Giants.
Can't say enough about the job that Tom Coughlin has done for the Giants, but a lot of injuries for the Green Bay Packers. Arguably their best offensive lineman, best defensive lineman, best cornerback, and today their quarterback goes out of the game.
2nd down and 11. Tiki Barber with both arms across the football. Gets it inside the 40, a gain of 3.
You know, the one thing we all know, Chris, and as you well know also, that, you know, you can talk about the injuries and the guys you have that aren't playing, but when it comes Sunday, fans and players really, you know, you got to play with what you've got, and you can't use it as an excuse. As unfortunate as it is, and as much as it changes the strength of your team, the expectations don't change in this league.
And you know, this was the year that they thought they were addressing the backup quarterback situation for the Packers. They brought in Tim Couch, and he just simply did not perform well enough to beat out Doug Peterson. Well, that's a guy that's just had so little playing time in his career because Brett Favre never comes out of the game.
So, well, on the heels of you saying that, Chris, we remind folks that because of this hit, Brett Favre, for the 2nd game in a row, will not be able to finish the ball game. He came in on the 4th down and completed the 28-yarder to Javon Walker for the only points in the day for Green Bay. It was good enough to go down and celebrate, but the medical staff wouldn't let him come back in and take over at quarterback. And now it's 3rd down and 8 for the Giants. Green Bay out of timeouts. Keep it on the ground with Barber. Tiki Barber with a huge 1st down for New York. So the Green Bay defense cannot hold on 3rd and 8. And the Giants are even closer to a 3-1 start.
And Jeremy Shockey makes a great block on this play. He's going to be right there. And then Jim Finn as well on it. And that's what sprung Tiki Barber getting outside in a clear lane. And what a nice job by those guys up front. We've talked about it before, this offensive line, how maligned they've been. But they are certainly changing opinion around the league the way that they've played in recent weeks.
This should be the final play before the 2-minute warning, and because the play clock was winding down.
Second team timeout will be a 30-second timeout.
The Giants are forced to use a timeout, and we will have one more play before the 2-minute warning. It's a 1st down for New York. And they're all smiles. Baseball on Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The Angels are the Twins at the Yankees. Are the National League's Game 1 matchup in one of the division series there. It's hard to pin down exactly who the teams will be, and for that I blame ESPN. No, I'm kidding. We just don't know, and that's because we won't find out until the end of the day which team in the American League, first of all, has the better record of the 2 division winners outside of the Yankees. You know they're going to have the best record, but they would then take on the team with the worst record between Anaheim and Minnesota. Why do you look at me like that?
Because I'm just waiting until they line up and start playing.
Me too. 2 minutes, 4 seconds remaining, and it's Ron Dane who gets hit by Diggs. The ball is just shy of the 20. 2 minutes left in Green Bay. The Giants with the ball in a 7-point lead.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Sprint PCS Picture Mail. It's easy for football fans to shoot, send, and share football moments.
Hey, who's tired of paying $5 for a bag of peanuts? Who's tired of paying huge overage charges to your wireless company? Well, what if Sprint got rid of ugly overages? Check it out.
With the Sprint PCS Fair and Flexible plan, 100 extra minutes never cost more than $10. Other plans charge at least $40, so talk all you want. Or talk less and pay less.
You, went over your barbecue minutes.
Sprint PCS. Now that's better.
Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL, presents Real Patriots fan Mark Foster, who gets ready for the game with his Visa card.
This is the perfect ball for my ritual.
Fumble! And his imagination.
How can I help my team? I'll be with them in spirit. So I go out in the woods. There's your opponents.
What? Let's go.
It's a workout with a mission.
He's got his Visa, he's got his football, he's ready. Visa, get ready for the game.
When we forged the frame rails of the new Ford Super Duty with thicker gauge steel than any other pickup, we gave it more payload than any other pickup. 5,800 pounds. Who's your daddy now? This is the next Ford Super Duty. Built Ford Tough.
We look ahead to next weekend and try to figure out what the important games will be. It seems to change week after week, and the Giants and the Cowboys looking bigger and bigger as we go. And then late, doubleheader game 2. 2 good ones. The Panthers at the Broncos, or the Rams at the Seahawks. Rams play tonight, by the way, out in San Francisco. 2 minutes left, 2nd down and 8. And they hand it to Dane. Dane gets it down to the 17-yard line. Green Bay, no timeouts left.
And Joe, I just want to make the point. I'm sure there are people out there that are saying, well, if Brett Favre could come back in and throw the touchdown pass, why can't he come back in the game? But the simple truth is that you had a concussion, and it would be like taking a boxer who had just been knocked out, propping him back up, putting him back in the ring, and asking him to go fight again. It's a very difficult thing, I'm sure, for Brett Favre and the team doctors, but I give him a lot of credit for making the right decision for Brett.
On third down, it's Dane again. He gets it to the 16. That'll bring up fourth down. Green Bay cannot stop the clock. You saw the name scroll by the top of your screen. Producer Richie Zients, our director Artie Kemner. Our thanks to Steve Horn, our editorial consultant, and of course to Ed Sfida and Staten Island's own Dave Paycheck Schwalbe, who is our spotter up here in the booth.
And right now, Kurt Warner, standing by the referee, is going to call timeout, probably with 1 second left on the play clock, and give Steve Christie a chance to come out here and get relaxed and give it one more opportunity to put this game away.
And we've talked a lot about Kurt Warner today, but Tiki Barber thus far this season has been remarkable. The best football I've ever seen him play.
So 30 seconds remain. All timeouts have been used, and Brett Favre has been in that pose for almost the entire fourth quarter. We look ahead for Green Bay. They host Tennessee on Monday night, and they're at Detroit. They host Dallas. They're at Washington, and then they get a bye.
And I believe, Joe, this is the first time since 1988 that the Green Bay Packers have lost back-to-back games at home to start the season. And it just is not going to get any easier for Mike Sherman and company. And they certainly have had more than their fair share of injuries, but that's not going to make it any easier with the fans here in Green Bay.
Christie will try another. He's missed 2 today, 1 from 49, 1 from 30. This will be a 34-yard try into the wind. And this one's no good. So he's 0 for 3 today, but the Packers are left, Coughlin loves it, with 26 seconds on the clock. They're down by 7, and they have no timeouts left.
There's just no excuse for that, Joe. You get down there 2 times now to really put the game away. As offensive players, we take a look at Tiki Barber, and you've done your job in getting them down there, and then the kicker can't put it through the uprights.
You know, it's one thing to miss a short one the first time because the wind gets you, but the second time you've got to learn from it.
A prevent defense. Packers throw underneath. That's Amon Green out of bounds at the 44. 19 seconds remaining.
Well, remember, Green Bay has no timeout, so if you're the Giants, you have to keep them in bounds. You just cannot let them run out of bounds. Obviously, you don't want to give up the big play. They have to score a touchdown. At the same time, do what you can to keep them from running out of bounds. Make them throw the ball over the middle of the field.
Amani Toomer now playing center field. The wide receiver playing deep safety here for the Giants.
6'3", 208. Pass is short. Short of Ferguson. That'll bring up second down and only 15 seconds remain.
Well, and Green Bay has to complete a pass down the field, probably another 10, 15 yards, get it out of bounds in order to have a realistic opportunity of throwing the Hail Mary into the end zone.
Well, what's interesting here is now they're going to bring in the backup quarterback who has the stronger arm. Craig Nall is coming in to throw this Hail Mary. And they are throwing it with the wind, so I think he'll be able to get it there if he can buy a little time for his receivers to get down the field.
If he gets this into the end zone from there, he's got the biggest arm in football.
Instead, it's underneath, but that's going to end the game.
Why?
They ain't going to be able to get up there and spike it in time to stop the clock. This game's over.
Game's over. The Giants are already on the field.
Wow.
And they complete a pass, but they do it in the middle of the field. And this game with no time remaining on the clock is over. And the Giants are now officially 3-1. The Packers 1-3.
Well, you go with Craig Nall, who's got the bigger arm, but he doesn't have the experience. So he makes a mistake in throwing the ball over the middle of the field, knowing that you're not going to have a time in that situation to get the ball clocked.
That was the coach's mistake. They ran double post on both sides. They weren't even trying to get out of bounds. That was the coach's call. We can't blame Craig Nall on that one.
So Warner and Favre get together, and I'm sure Warner, who has suffered through concussions, wondering how Brett Favre is feeling. Big win for the Giants here at Lambeau. The guys in the studio are ready, willing, and able to take you the rest of the way. JB, it's all yours.
Welcome to the SBC postgame show, brought to you by SBC.